Hello, ladies, and welcome to another episode of Success Starts Within. Guys, I got my new car today. I don't know if you have seen in my stories, but I had a car accident before Christmas. Somebody drove into my car, and the universe actually did me a solid because it paid out. And today I picked up the car that has been on my vision board for bloody ages. And I'm not going to lie, I felt like an absolute player driving home from the garage. I was there, I got a heated steering wheel, heated seats, Apple CarPlay, and I put a little bit of Capital Reloaded on, literally loving my life. And I was so happy. And maybe it's just me, do you ever do that thing where you get so happy and you're like, you did that like squealy thing? Well, I was doing that on the way home because I was just so proud of myself for keeping that vision that I've had on my vision board. Okay, the universe took it in its own hands to speed up the process, but I didn't let go of the vision of the car that I wanted, and finally it became a reality. And it deserved to be celebrated. And that is one thing that we don't do that often, is it? We have all these achievements, but we keep going. But it's so important to celebrate anything that you have succeeded, anything that you've received, anything that you've achieved that you have been aiming for. Because otherwise, what's the point? Like, we can't just keep going. So yeah, so I will be picking the kids up from school in a little while in my new car, and they're going to be taking their shoes off before they get in because no one's messing up my new car. But you're not here to listen to me getting excited about my new car. Today, I want to talk about something that came to my mind because one of my gorgeous friends sent me a voice note yesterday, and she was like, babe, your podcast is fucking awesome. It's so relatable. I absolutely love it. And the kick that gave me was huge. It made me feel so good about myself. It made me feel like what I was doing was the right thing. But then it made me think about, well, is it okay for my self-worth to be put on external validation? And is it wrong for me to want praise? So I thought that was something that we could talk about today, because I know that it's something a lot of you have experienced yourself. I've experienced it personally, which is why I'm talking about it today. So the short answer is, wanting validation is not wrong. Yay! I hear you cry. It's not wrong, because human beings are wired for connection and attunement, and our nervous systems develop when we're in relationships, so when we've got that connection with other people. So actually being seen, acknowledged and appreciated for things that we've done isn't actually a weakness. It is part of our biology. But the problem isn't enjoying the praise. The problem is when it becomes the source of your self-worth. So through the lens of the nervous system, praise creates that safety in our body because it gives us a sense of belonging and that sense of connection. And if we were brought up receiving praise, then praise, of course, is going to be part of your current nervous system imprint. And in healthy relationships, of course, praise means that I'm safe, I'm accepted, I won't be rejected. So it's not a negative, it's a positive. And praise is good if you enjoy it, if you are happy to receive it, and if it doesn't change who you believe yourself to be. That is one of the main things. It doesn't change what you believe about yourself. So in the example with my friend leaving me my voice note, it didn't say to me, oh, I'm definitely like a really good podcaster, I'm going to have to carry on. I took it as a lovely compliment, but I'm still going to continue to podcast whether I get that praise from anybody or not, whether I get the listens that I'm looking for, whether I'm getting the followers, the feedback, whatever. I'm still going to do it because I'm not relying on this podcast to get external validation. I'm doing it because I bloody enjoy talking to you guys. So you can have an unhealthy reliance with praise, and that will happen when you need to receive it in order to feel okay. So you are not feeling okay in yourself. You're not feeling worthy if anybody hasn't said to you, you're doing a good job, well done, or you're great. So you're not relying on that other person to feed your self-worth. Also, a very unhealthy reliance that you can have on praise is that if you're not getting it, then it will start to create anxiety, but more so start to create doubt about yourself, doubt about who you are, what you're doing, the business that you're running, the family that you have, the relationships, everything. It starts to create doubt. So it's really important that you are not relying on that external situation or that external person to inform how you are feeling in the present moment. Because I want you to ask yourself this question. So a way of trying to work out whether you do rely on praise is to ask yourself this: when the praise disappears, do you still feel okay? Do you still feel worthy? Or do you find that you start searching for that external validation? Because remember, if you are, the external validation will only temporarily regulate your nervous system. But having pure deep self-worth is going to allow you to have a consistent regulated nervous system. Over Christmas, my kids ate a shit ton of chocolate, right? And every time they had a large amount of chocolate, they would literally go nuts. Like have this little moment where they're just like fighting each other and they're running around the house and like they're just pulling each other's pants down and shit. So you're getting like a hit of happiness and validation and yeah, I'm really good when someone's saying something to you. But then when there's a period where you're not getting any praise, then it's that lull. It's like that aftermath, like the kids had after their chocolate. They just go on like a come down from it and then they're just all like crying and rolling around the floor and oh my God, being crazy. So yeah, so the self-worth and making sure that you are fully anchored into your self-worth is about the internal regulation. So looking inwards, it's not about having anybody externally soothe you and give you that validation that you need. So I'm going to put my hand up before I even ask this question, but who has been a people pleaser? Me, recovering people pleaser over here. Now, if you are constantly looking for validation and you're trying to get it from any channel that you can, you're going to become a people pleaser. You're going to overwork. You're going to completely overgive. You're going to overperform. All of this for approval, all because you want someone to say, well done. And what actually happens is that you lose touch with what you actually want. And again, that is so important when you are thinking about your self-worth. It's not about anybody else. And it's also not selfish. You are number one. If your cup is not full, then it affects everything else. So you don't want to lose touch with what you actually want and who you are. So again, another question for you to ponder on. Who are you when nobody is clapping? So who are you? Like, try and think about who you are as a person when you're not getting that external praise and validation. And it's actually quite a hard question to answer. And as I was putting this podcast together and I was thinking about this question, I really had to think about it myself, because you can't help but want to rely on other people and what they say to you to feel really good. So yeah, who are you when nobody is clapping? So who am I when nobody is clapping? Let me think. No, I know who I am when nobody is clapping. I am somebody that is worth going for whatever goal I have to aim for at that time. I know that I am capable. I know that I have the tenacity and the drive to do that. So I do like praise. I mean, God, who doesn't like a bloody well done? But I haven't allowed myself to rely on it in order to keep going. I also don't need praise in order to start something or to continue with something. Decision making and self-worth are very, very linked as well. So what is self-worth? Self-worth is that felt belief that you are inherently enough and you don't need any approval. You don't need to perform for somebody. You don't need to validate. You are enough as you are. and you don't put your worth on how much money you earn, who you love or who loves you back. It's just about, I love myself. It's self-love. It's trusting in yourself. It's believing in yourself and not doubting the person that you are and the goals that you have for your life and where you want to go with your life. And it's not that where you're like convincing yourself, oh, I'm amazing, I've got so much self-worth. It's not that at all. It's just a sense that you are enough, even on the days where maybe things are a bit shit. We do, don't we? We kind of like roller coaster through these days where we have a really good day. We might have had a new client come through or something really good has happened. And then on the sort of quieter, more mundane days, you don't feel that sense. So it's feeling enough every single day, regardless of what is going on in your day. And you don't need to earn self-worth. You just have to be, and you have to be able to give yourself time for self-care. That's one of the important things for self-worth. And self-care is not selfish. And it's also the ability to just, back yourself when stuff doesn't go the way that you want it to, It's not putting like a launch that didn't succeed like you wanted to on you, because it isn't anything about you. It's just about maybe the systems that you created in that launch. So it's just really, really, really being true to yourself and not worrying about other people. And you will know when you are regulated in that way, because whatever happens in your life, in your day, you're going to have that same consistent, calm, grounded, regulated feeling in your body. We can rewire our relationship with validation. So if you're listening to this thinking, maybe I do rely on other people to make me feel good, it can be changed. Anything that you feel, any habit, any behavior that you have can be changed. And I'm going to say it probably in most podcasts, with time and consistency, and in very small steps as well. So you need to teach yourself that receiving praise is nice, but you don't hold on to it like, that's made me feel really good. It's like receive the praise, thank you very much, and you move on with your day. Also, just notice that you're not trying to seek validation elsewhere, but if you are, then get curious with it. So rather than judge yourself, get curious about why you're looking for other people or why you're looking for an external source to make you feel good. And again, that could come not only just in other people, but with this example, it could be, why am I going for the bottle of wine in the fridge to make me feel good right now? Or why am I sitting on Tinder and swiping left and right to everybody? What are you needing in that moment? So the symptom will be the wine and the Tinder. There's something going on underneath. So just get curious about it. And start to build internal safety. And you can do that by praising yourself, acknowledging your accomplishments, saying, well fucking done if you've done something right. I have a list on my desk, and every single day I will write 1 or 2 accomplishments that I've achieved in that day. And then when I come back to my desk in the morning, I read it through. And what it is, it's just building up this filing cabinet of achievements and things that I've learned, things that I have done, things that I've said yes to. But it's not looking for that validation from something else, because it's something that I have created myself. I recommend doing. It's a really nice exercise. Literally takes like 30 seconds to do that, but it has such a big impact. And the last little part I want to put out there for you is this. Let praise be the dessert and not the meal. Oh, it's cool, right? I love that. The external validation, it can be enjoyed like a dessert. It's right at the end of this big meal. And the big meal is the self-worth. So the self-worth is what nourishes you, regardless of whatever anybody says, regardless of who's watching. But the external validation is just like that little little bit at the end that's like, oh, thank you. I am full from my steak and chips, but I will just have a little of my dessert. That would be lovely. Thank you. So just treat it like that. And when your worth is internal, the praise that you receive doesn't feel so desperate. It feels nice and light and, oh, I don't know what's the word, like just not heavy, if that makes sense. So I hope that you've enjoyed this episode today, and I hope it's got you thinking about how you have a relationship with self-worth and praise and validation, and how that makes you show up in your everyday, and also how it makes you feel and your worth. And I'm going to do a podcast about self-worth because actually this is like such a huge topic, but very, very important to talk about. So you do not need to stop enjoying praise. Hallelujah. You really don't. But you just need to make sure that you don't organize your life around it and that it doesn't determine the person that you are. Thank you so much for listening, and I will speak to you next week. Bye.